Recently, I was in a group of authors and speakers, and I was sharing about my vowel storytelling framework. We got to the question and answer time, and a gentleman asked me a question. How can I help people to understand? How can I talk to people? What kind of stories should I tell? And he went on to tell me that he had recently lost his entire worldly possessions in a house fire. That's devastating. It's something that most of us, thankfully, will never experience. And like most things that we haven't experienced, it's hard for us to understand. And so people were saying to him, I can't even imagine what you're going through. I can't even imagine what you're feeling. And he said, and I don't know what to tell them. How could they understand? They haven't been through it. And I took a breath and I said, stories. When someone says to you, I can't imagine how you're feeling, that's an opportunity. They're telling you, I have no context to understand what it is that you're going through. And if the only way they can understand is through experiencing the exact same thing, then none of us can understand any of us, because no matter what experience we have, it is completely unique to us. None of the details will always match, no matter if we go through the same thing. Two people can get a divorce, but their experience is going to be different. Two people can lose their homes in a house fire, and even their experiences are going to be different. There will be similarities, but there are aspects and dynamics that are different. But one thing that is the same to the human condition is emotion. And so I told this man, instead of trying to help people wrap their head around the entirety of what you've experienced, pick out one or two moments in the aftermath of losing your home and craft those moments into a story that when someone says, I can't even imagine what you're feeling, you could say, could I tell you a quick story? Maybe it's a story about waking up in a strange bed the morning after your house fire and the realization crashing back in on you of what had happened the day before and how that made you feel. You can describe the room that you wake up in. You can describe what it felt like on the inside. You can describe the thoughts that came into your head. Maybe it would be a moment where an act of kindness or compassion that you weren't expecting happened, and how that made you feel and how that gave you hope. Maybe it was about something that was found in the rubble, a single item and the memory attached to it. It's not about trauma dumping. It's not about trying to gain their sympathy. It's about trying to invite them into the situation, because they're telling you, I can't imagine. But they have had similar emotions. Most of us have experienced some kind of sense of loss. Many of us have experienced unexpected compassion or mercy, and others of us have found an item that brought memories flooding back. You're just painting a picture. In my vowel framework, I talk about opening the scene. That's letter O in vowel. Open the scene. It's where you describe in as much detail as necessary, but no more, the scene in which that moment takes place. And by doing that, you invite people into the story. I tell a story about sitting at my grandma's kitchen table, eating waffles that she made for me for breakfast. When I tell that story, I don't describe my grandma's kitchen table, because I'm not trying to provide so many details that it overwhelms people. What I'm hoping when I tell that story is that people that are hearing it will think of their own grandma's kitchen table. And they won't see the metal legs and the formica top of my grandma's table. They'll see their grandma's table, because when that happens, they step into the story that I'm telling with memories of their own, and now we're on a journey together, and they can imagine, not because they experienced the same thing I experienced, but because they've had similar emotions and similar thoughts. So storytelling is a gift of imagination. Storytelling enables people who are reaching out for connection to be able to connect with you by the well-told, well-crafted moment that you've turned into a story. That is the power of storytelling. That is the gift of storytelling. It helps people bridge the gap and make the connection. And that's what storytelling is all about.